It's Wednesday, June 3rd. Welcome aboard to this edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Kevin Friel. And just a reminder right at the top, the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
And I'm Andrew Gobiel. Thank you very much for joining us today on Barnstable Today. We continue our voyage through the town's 7 villages. As if we need an introduction, we are here today in Osterville.
Last week, we traveled to the Barnstable Harbor Marina to discuss the improvements and upgrades that were a necessity at the failed bulkhead.
Last evening, the town's Conservation Commission heard from project planners discussing the steps needed to repair that facility, damaged last year. The marina is now in need of substantial repairs, even as town employees do superlative work in keeping it operational during the summer season. Those plans, addressed by the Conservation Committee last evening, were approved. We're going to hear more about those plans in just a moment when we speak with Assistant Town Manager Tom Lynch.
Earlier this morning, I had the opportunity to talk with Tom Lynch about the upcoming Town Council agenda for Thursday, June 4th.
On the agenda, a public hearing on the town's proposed $152 million budget. Also hear about an interesting outreach effort by the town designed to make sure your voice is heard during that hearing.
We're very thankful to be with Tom Lynch this morning to fill us in on this June 4th Town Council session that's upcoming. Tom, where are we in the budget cycle at this point?
Well, we've naturally finished all our work internally dealing with our various departments, and we presented the budget to the Town Council well over a month ago. They very quickly proceeded with setting up workshops, and that over 2 different meetings, we were able to have all the departments make workshop presentations before the Town Council. They asked a lot of questions and were able to deal with it on an informal basis before they actually had the budget formally before them. And now, on the 4th, on Thursday night, we will be actually opening up the public hearing for the budget when the public can participate in it as well as the town councils, and again we'll go through each and every department that we have before the town council takes a vote.
You'll be assembling with the town council and members from the community in a little over 30 hours from now. Tom, if someone can't make it out there, out to the town hall, there is a way for them to call in and have their say. Could you tell us about that?
The town manager has decided to have a call-in. So we're going to have the 508-862-4610 number available. I'm sure it'll be on the screen. And we'll have a setup where the calls can, the nature of the call can come right into our desk here, and we can tell the town council that, you know, someone has a particular question on police or the schools or community services or the DPW, and we'll you know, address that question along with them. I understand they tried a few years ago. They got, you know, quite a few questions. It's one of those things where some of the councils may have asked the question, but it might not have been answered fully, and someone watching it says, geez, I'd like a little more information on that. So we certainly encourage people to ask any question they'd like, and sometimes you might think, well, you know, is that the right question to ask? It might lead to something else and get a fuller answer on what they have. And we'll have all the staff available, so we should be able to answer any questions that constituents might have.
Great. I think it's a wonderful idea. If a lot of people aren't able to get out, make it down here, it's an easier way for them to have their say.
Well, and I think for those that are, you know, that really want to dig into the numbers, the budget, the whole budget is online, available on our website. Mark Milne has put together a very nice, you know, operating budget summary on many aspects of the budget, but there'll be naturally numbers or line items that people might wonder about. You know, but you can see changes in the operating budget from last year to this. You can see 10-year changes, the changes in what the personnel have been. This is about a 4.7% overall decrease from last year's budget, and that's resulting because we have less local aid that's coming in because of all the debates that have gone on at the state level. We have less investment income coming in. Things like excise tax have gone down. So we have turned around and cut the budget accordingly, and each department has had to take a hit.
Will this also be the first time that the education budget is in front of the town council?
There has been a workshop on the school budget, but as you know from your own following of the budget through Barnstable Today, the school budget, they had a great many hearings on it. But yes, this will be the first formal presentation for council approval, just as it will be with all the other departments.
Great, Tom. Why don't we start going through the agenda for Thursday night? The old business is, just like we've been talking about, the budget.
It's all budget, and you know, you never know with the budget. I mean, there has been a lot of work on workshops, and individual councils have come in and asked questions or asked questions of departments. So we've had a lot of information out there for the councilors to digest. It could take one night, it could take, you know, a couple of meetings. So we'd like to get through all the agendas, but I think there are, we go from 107 all the way down to 125 with individual items. So
yep.
Each department is heard separately.
And each of these items will also have a public hearing associated with it as well.
Public hearing, open, closed, and then has to be adopted.
Why don't we talk a little bit about some of the new business, and that's also part of the budget as well, but that's another piece of it a couple weeks down the road.
The June 18th meeting is looking like, assuming we get through the budget, it might be an overflow to that meeting. It has some very interesting items on there. There's the Centerville District of Critical Planning Concern. There's an amendment to extend the permit process for community. It's like a residential living permit that was passed. It's called the SCROD. I can't think of the exact acronym for what it stands at this moment. But to extend the building time on that. And there are some very interesting items on septic and rather sewer, you know, insulation. And the reason for those, which total, you know, $50 million plus, is we're trying to get the authorization in before June 30th so that we can qualify for 0 to 2% loans that are going to be coming through the state revolving fund.
Tom, is there anything else that you'd like to add to our discussion today about the budget or about the agenda that's coming up for the Town Council?
I just want to say that I continue to be impressed at how each of our departments tackles the problem of trying to continue to provide services with reduced funding. And we have had, through our e-newsletter and through the Barnstable Bulletin and through the website, we have had questions from folks about, gee, will this area of the town be mowed, or will you still be able to take care of this pothole or road work? We have crews out there, but it's just a little slower because we've had to cut back on staff, and there's going to be some budget, you know, some service reduction. But again, the populace seems to be understanding of that, and John Klim has sent the message we're going to live within our means, and that's what this budget reflects.
That's Kevin Friel, and Assistant Town Manager Tom Lynch has mentioned the phone number 862-4610. The Town Council meeting begins at 7 tomorrow night.
Tonight, the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission will meet at 7 p.m. The meeting will take place at the Selectmen's Conference Room in Town Hall.
Also tomorrow, the Cable Advisory Committee meets in the Selectmen's Conference Room at 4 o'clock.
And once again, those meetings and agendas can be found on our website, www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
And once again, from the Village in Osterville, I'm Andrew Gobio for Kevin Friel. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Barnstable Today.